'Tis the season, the most wonderful time of the year. Celebration with friends and family. It's time to pay tribute to this jolly month. So join us as we get into the Christmas spirit. You've heard of Elf on the Shelf, but this is Venom on the Shelf.
What's the matter with you?
Last year you ruined my Christmas by making me watch Ernest Saves Christmas, and this year you're making me watch a movie that is debatably worse. Director Nancy Meyers had been interested in doing a remake of the 1961 film with the same name for many years, eventually gaining the approval of Walt Disney Studios, who granted her a budget of $15 million to finance the picture.
When casting the dual role of the twins, over 1,500 actresses auditioned for the part, including Scarlett Johansson, Alex McKenna, Michelle Trachtenberg, Mara Wilson and Jenna Malone. But Meyers handpicked Lindsay Lohan for the part after seeing her first audition. It was her first ever film role.
Whenever she was playing one of the two twins, Lohan would have an earpiece playing the other character's lines through her ear so that she could respond and react appropriately.
A long list of actors were considered for the role of their father Nick, including David Hasselhoff,
Richard Gere, Jeff Bridges, Kurt Russell, Patrick Swayze, Tom Hanks, Robin Williams.
Okay, I like Dennis Quaid, but if they just put Robin Williams or Tom Hanks in it, it would have automatically made it a lot better.
This is not a big deal.
Tim Allen, Bill Murray, Jeff Daniels, Harrison Ford, and Pierce Brosnan before the role was eventually given to Dennis Quaid.
Good luck.
Filming began on July the 15th, 1997 in London, England, before moving to San Francisco and Los Angeles, before wrapping up on December the 17th, and The Parent Trap was released on July the 29th, 1998.
It was a box office hit, grossing $92.1 million worldwide and was very well received, many even calling it an improvement on the original film, and it catapulted Lindsay Lohan's career into the stratosphere. Yeah, all her years of alcohol and drug abuse, we can attribute all that to this movie. Thanks, Disney.
No!
Unfortunately, by the time the remake came out, all of the cast members that played the adult family members in the original 61 film have passed away, except for Maureen O'Hara, who had played the twins' mother. Sadly, she also outlived Natasha Richardson, who died in a tragic skiing accident in 2009.
Now, we can't talk about this movie without discussing a very popular conspiracy theory. Now, I'd like to clarify, Jimmy doesn't know anything about this. This is the first time he's hearing about this, so this is his genuine reaction to this madness.
Sorry.
There is a bizarre theory that Lindsay Lohan actually had a real twin sister who starred in this movie alongside her called Kelsey Lohan. Now, there's two sides to this theory. The first is that Kelsey was tragically killed in a car accident shortly before the movie came out. And to avoid negative press surrounding the film, Disney decided to claim that Lindsay played both sisters via special effects. Which doesn't make any sense, because what about The Crow? It makes no sense to me, because The Crow, Brandon Lee died.
Yeah.
And they still said, oh, he died, but here's the movie. I get that she's a kid, but didn't the girl from Poltergeist die?
Yeah, that's like saying, if anyone young dies, we won't release the movie.
Yeah, they're not even in her memory. They're like, nah, she didn't exist.
Yeah.
The second theory is that around 2001, 3 years later, Kelsey mysteriously vanished, but it is believed that since Lindsay was a superior actress, Disney had her murdered to get her out of the spotlight, though others say the opposite. Kelsey was a better actress, therefore they eliminated Lindsay. Disney's the fucking mafia! But like, it says 2001.
Wait. So yeah, Lindsay's the better one. This other kid, wipe her out. Fuck her off, like. But I reckon what happened was Kelsey's like in a house like at night, and then knock on the door. It's just a giant Mickey Mouse with a machine gun. How dare you be better than Lindsay? We only want one.
But the second one that Disney killed her is 3 years later. So surely Kelsey would have been credited for the movie. She would have done interviews. Anyway.
Makes no sense.
The reason for these theories is that it is unlikely that Disney had the technology in 1998 to have the same actress on the screen at the same time. Bill and Ted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Case closed. Now, many films or television shows in the past have done this prior to 98, including the very film that this is remaking. But the characters didn't physically interact with one another. In this movie, they hug and constantly touch each other. People believe there's no possible way that this could have been done with special effects, and the only logical explanation is that there were two girls. Right, there's a scene, I don't know if you remember it, Bill and Ted 2. The evil robots go to the past and they lead them out of the apartment and they touch
and they're holding them over the cliff. Remember?
Yeah, they hold them over the cliff. You have the camera behind them. You have a body double. It's very easy to do. They also believe this because they think in photographs you can actually tell subtle physical differences between the two girls, especially in regards to the freckles on their faces, as well as the photos being far too convincing to be fake. Furthermore, in 2007, Lohan starred in a movie called I Know Who Killed Me, which tells the story of a woman who gets kidnapped and brainwashed into believing that she is a different person. I feel like that was making fun of the theory. They're like, let's fuck with them. Lindsay has never spoken publicly about this theory, but it's believed it's why she was resentful towards her parents, as she was sworn to secrecy.
And do not tell the world that Mickey Mouse killed your sister. Why did you let this happen, Mum? She was better than you. We had to prevent this.
And it would explain her turn to... I can't say it. And it would explain her turn to alcohol and drug abuse. Lindsay was a drug addict because her twin sister was murdered by Disney. I mean, I do find it weird that Lindsay's never spoken about it. To me, that is a bit odd.
What about the theory?
Yeah, well, surely in an
nonsense?
Interview, you'd just be like, well, it's bollocks, isn't it?
No one fucking asked her about it. It's dickheads on the internet.
Anyway, back to reality.
This is the Parent Trap.
The Parent Crap!
Nice.
So we open with a montage of Dennis Quaid and the late great Natasha Richardson meeting, falling in love and getting married. Here's to separating our future kids and completely traumatising them, ruining their entire childhoods for a complete laugh. We're such dicks. But if this was really a metaphor for the movie, it would hit a fucking iceberg.
How about a souvenir picture?
We need to set up a really annoying scene later. And that's when we head to some summer camp and... Okay, I'm just going to get this off my chest right off the bat. 1. If you know that your daughter has an identical twin sister in America... why would you then send your daughter to a camp in America? But 2, I can kind of let that slide. Because the odds of them bumping into one another are fucking astronomical. I mean, no! What the fuck are the chances? Now, this is unlikely, but not impossible. On April the 30th, 1997, in South Africa, Zephany Nurse was kidnapped from her mother in the hospital just 2 days after being born. Zephany was then raised by the kidnapper, believing that she was her real mother. The biological mum, obviously devastated, always kept up hope to finding her again and had a second child named Cassidy. When Zephany, the first daughter, turned 17, she just so happened to end up in the same school as her sister Cassidy, and they even ended up becoming best friends. It wasn't until people noticed the uncanny resemblance that a DNA test was done to prove that she had somehow found and befriended her own biological sister. I'm just saying, although it's unlikely, I suppose it isn't impossible. Except in that case, at least they were in the same local area. Here, it's Britain to the fucking US!
Thank you very much.
I thought this was a boys' camp. Why?
And she just clearly looked directly into the camera. Useless little shit.
And that's when we meet Hallie, played by Lohan, a Californian girl visiting the camp.
But oh well, she instantly becomes popular and gains 2 friends, because of course she does. Before we meet Annie, also played by Lindsay Lohan.
No, that's Kelsey.
How can you tell the difference?
Yeah, Mickey Mouse did though.
Well, I doubt it, but thanks.
But this is a rich, posh, snobby bitch from London. And of course Americans think all Brits talk like this.
Well, it's rather picturesque. don't you think?
We do not talk like that! Not even the Queen talks like that!
My husband and I look forward eagerly to the series of visits.
Alright, maybe a little.
See you in 8 weeks, Marty, old pal.
This is honestly one of the worst British accents I've ever heard. She puts Dick Van Dyke to shame. She puts Forrest Whitaker to Nah.
Fruits and vegetables.
Check, check. Check for fruits, check for vegetables.
Alright, I take it back. She's kind of adorable in this. God damn it. So her butler drops her off and they have this cool handshake, but doesn't this kind of go against her character? I mean, this was clearly only put in for future events, but why would the uptight rich cow have a cool handshake? Surely it would be Hallie who would have this and not her? There is a subtle running gag where there's one boy there, who by the way is played by Lindsay's real-life brother Michael, and he thought it was a boys' camp, but his mum won't even pick up the phone whenever he tries to contact her. I mean, it's funny, but this is actually quite a dark and troubling story of neglect. Definitely Lindsay Lohan's parents.
Then this counsellor somehow doesn't realise she's surrounded by a pretty decent split screen effect.
No, they're real sisters! Stop buying into the lies Disney has fed you over the years. They murdered a child!
You know what? I've decided I'd buy into it.
Why?
Rest in peace, Kelsey.
She's not real!
She was so young.
It was Lindsay!
She was so young and Mickey Mouse didn't care. So they have a game of fencing and the counsellor is Janice from Friends. Weird casting.
But of course, Hallie gets challenged by Annie, and despite seeing both of their faces, Janice doesn't even notice. How dumb are you? To be fair, when they go to shake hands afterwards and see each other face to face for the first time, this is a pretty cool moment. I see no resemblance.
Kelsey!
Kelsey's not real!
Why's everyone staring? Don't you see it? See what?
My terrible accent!
Oh, and that nose. Well, don't worry, dear. Those things can be fixed.
Alright, I kinda like the yank.
You want to know the real difference between us?
One of your accents is believable and the other one isn't. Jesus Christ, they're making the card game between them more intense and dramatic than the fencing competition. So Annie loses the game, which means she has to skinny dip. Ah, the 90s, where it wasn't weird to make an 11-year-old girl dive into a pool butt naked only for you to then steal her clothes. I can't even feel sorry for her. She's been antagonising Hallie right back the entire time.
This starts a prank war, but somehow Annie gets her revenge by putting Hallie and her housemates' beds on the roof of the cabins. How? Does she have Hulk Hogan at her beck and call? Who put them up there and how? Is she related to Fred? Is her dad John Cena too?
I just find it hilarious that nobody is looking into how two people look this identical. I mean, they're kids, sure, but not even the adults are curious? No one's going to investigate this? They're 100% identical! But no, they just go right about their day pranking each other like it's perfectly normal. Man, who's going to clean up this mess or pay for all of the damages? Man, I'm getting old when that is my primary concern.
Morning, girl.
Wait, they don't question the fact that they're peeking through other people's windows?
So they have a surprise inspection, but Hallie tries to stop it from happening before hilarity ensues.
You know the drill. Lame kid movie slapstick. Slide around, fall over, cause a mess, covered in feathers. It's in every family movie of the 90s ever. Too long don't read, they're in trouble and have to pack their bags. Wait, so they literally leave two 11-year-olds in a cabin on their own in the middle of the woods. And why aren't the adults questioning that they're twins? Also, since I mentioned it, the movie constantly gets their age and the maths completely wrong. And you know it's bad when I'm criticising somebody else's maths.
Even more excellent.
So we see the wedding at the start, and then it cuts to 11 years and 9 months later. What, so did they literally conceive a baby bang on the wedding night? I mean, it's likely, but it gets dumber. They specify that the twins were separated as babies, so they must have split up not long after that. But for most of the movie, they both claim that they're nearly 12. So It can't be 11 years and 9 months later. They would have only just turned 11, but yet their birthday's in October and they go to camp in the summer. The script makes no sense, that's all I'm saying.
That does not seem like a possibility, babe.
And then we get the cliche of them arguing over whether or not to have the light on or off. You've seen it all before.
Wow, these pictures are so dated now. This is like a shrine of the 90s. They need to be put in a museum somewhere. I'm British! I just had to remind you! Oh!
Oh gosh, it's stuck.
Pip, pip, heavens, Mary Poppins! Gosh darn it, Harry Potter and tea!
Thanks. You're welcome.
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
No, seriously, that's all it took. All those pranks and public humiliation, then they help each other shut a window and boom, they're best buds!
Any of your pictures ruined? Only the beautiful Leo DiCaprio. Who?
Yeah, sure. Brits have no idea who Leo is. This is a year after Titanic. I will admit, I do find it kind of sweet as they start talking and begin to bond. Shut up.
I don't have a father, actually. I mean, I had one once, I suppose. But my parents divorced years ago. My mother never even mentions him. It's like he evaporated into thin air or something.
How have you not figured this out yet?
How old are you? I'll be 12 on October 11th. So will I.
Just get a clue!
Your birthday's on October 11th? Yeah. How weird is that?
I think the fact that you look completely and utterly identical is probably more of an issue than the fact you have the same birthday. I'm just saying.
What's your mother like? I never met her. She and my dad split up when I was a baby, maybe even before. I'm not sure.
Get there faster!
I only have a mother, and you only have a father. You've never seen your mum, and I've never seen my dad.
This is the longest fucking scene in the entire fucking world!
But it turns out they were both given half of a ripped photograph of their parents, and what a shock. They match.
This was a joke in a Friends episode! I mean, granted, this was after this movie came out, but still, there's a reason it was a comedy bit!
We could give each of them half a medallion, and then years later they'll find each other.
Because in reality, two parents separating their twins at birth is a fucking horrible thing to do! How can I sympathise with these people? They're terrible parents!
If your mom is my mom, and my dad is your dad,
Oh, for fuck's sake, are we still on this?
and we're both born on October 11th,
You're fucking twins! Just say it!
then you and I are like sisters. Sisters. Hallie, we're like twins.
The split screen and camera tricks, body doubles and everything to give off the illusion of two girls is really well handled, especially for cheesy Disney 1990s standards.
But they decide to switch places to try and get their parents back together. A generic plot that would be done to death after this movie. So thank you, Disney, for that. But how immoral is this entire message? Like, I know it was a 60s movie, I know it already existed, but just seeing it play out, you know, they shouldn't have remade it. The plan is immoral. Basically, the idea is that these kids are going to emotionally manipulate and force, through blackmail, through deceit, through guilt, to fall back together in love. Like, this is not the way the world works, kids. Things don't always work out exactly how you want them to. And I just feel like this movie sends a really immoral message that you can just force things to be. You can force your parents back together because you deserve it, you're entitled. No, I think it would actually be better for these kids' characters if they actually accepted the dad's new girlfriend later on, and they actually, you know, accepted how these parents feel and just went, well, we want you to go back to get them back together. That would be a more mature way. But no, instead, it's a whole plot of lies, deceit, treachery to get the parents back together.
Yes, you want to know the difference between us?
Oh yeah! Just like that, she can perfectly imitate her sister and just nail her accent spot on.
No.
So we get a montage of them teaching each other to be like, well, each other.
Hallie even cuts Annie's hair to match hers, but why not just say to your mum, "Know what, mum, I just decided to grow it," and you wouldn't need to cut it. I mean, they say they're at this camp for 8 weeks, that's long enough to grow it.
Which, by the way, is also wrong. Because how can they be at this camp for 8 weeks when the UK summer holidays don't last 8 weeks? They did no research on the UK. Just, it's Crumpets, Mr. Bean and Monty Python, and they drink with a pinky out. Oh, and they wear top hats and monocles.
So, what's the problem?
They also realise that Hallie's ears are pierced, so now they have to match Annie's as well.
God, I hope she likes me.
Wait, why is she on the plane by herself? She literally just got into a limo. What, one of her rich associates isn't there with her? What the hell?
What have you done to your hair?
Cut it. Do you like it?
Love it. It's the new you. And you've had your ears pierced.
Would they really be that accepting considering she's only 11? And she's rich, posh and snobby? Cue every cliche sightseeing montage in every 90s movie ever. I just can't imagine how 2 11-year-olds would even have the courage to pull off something like this. I'd be absolutely shitting a brick.
I'm making a memory.
Oh.
Years from now, when I'm all grown up, I'll always remember.
Butchering the English accent, pip pip cheerio.
But I must admit, the reunion when she meets her mum for the first time is quite sweet.
To be fair, Lohan's acting here is actually incredible. She breaks down crying and her mum Elizabeth has no idea that she's the wrong girl. Despite the terrible accent, it is a really sweet performance. And anytime she even interacts with her twin, you can't even tell. Honestly, if you didn't know any better, you would think that they're real twins.
Kelsey!
She wasn't real! But I just can't accept her mum as this sweet and adoring mother like they're trying to portray her as. She separated her babies! And why does the wedding dress model start taking photos with Hallie, who's pretending to be Annie? Okay, describing the plot from now on is going to be very confusing, but you know what I mean. It's weird.
So, was it love at first sight?
I knew you were going to ask me all these questions one day.
Well, how about don't separate your kids in the fucking first place, you selfish cunt?
So Annie, pretending to be Hallie, gets off the plane to meet her father, Nick.
I want to find these scenes sweet, but... No! He's a bellend who also separated his kids! Fuck him!
You've been biting him since you could chew.
But I've decided to stop, Dad. It's a horrid habit.
Lovely girl, horrid habit. What did I do, send you to summer camp or finishing school? And why do you keep saying dad at the end of every sentence?
She's doing an awful job at hiding her identity. It's like all of that secrecy went out the window as soon as she got in the car with her father. And what does he mean? What you calling me dad for? What do you want me to call you, dickhead?
It's because in my whole life, I mean, you know, for the past 8 weeks, I was never able to say the word dad.
My God, how is he not getting this? She is making it so obvious that she's Annie. At least Hallie was able to hide it.
Just hold up a sign that says, "I'm your other daughter." It would be less obvious.
Just imagine someone's life without a father. Never buying a Father's Day card, never sitting on their father's lap, never being able to say, "Hi, Dad," or "What's up, Dad?" or "Catch you later, Dad."
She's literally telling him everything. Like, this girl is the worst keeper of secrets of all time. Don't tell her anything.
So they get home and Annie meets Jessie the maid, and she actually is really sweet and likeable. You will grow to love her more and more as the film progresses.
I can't put my finger on it, but something about you has definitely changed.
Really? Well, it's just the same old me. Honest.
I'm so glad they showed us that she had her fingers crossed the whole time. Otherwise, I would have never realised that it was the wrong girl. I mean, I don't even get it. You literally show us that she's the wrong girl. Why did you show us her crossing her fingers? You still felt the need to remind us? What? Then the dog freaks out because she's a vampire, I don't know. I get that he wouldn't recognise her, but would he really bark at her like she was Michael Myers?
Then it turns out Nick is now seeing another woman called Meredith, who's just using him for the money and is a complete bitch queen from hell. Just another cliche from Home Alone 4 to steal.
You are so grown up.
I'll be 12 soon. How old are you?
26.
Fuck off. Sorry, just look at her. She is not 26.
She's a 26 in my book.
So Annie calls her dad a man slut to try to scare her off, but it doesn't seem to work.
A Mildred Plotka for you. Sounds just like your twin.
Wouldn't he know that she has a real twin? So why would he say that?
Annie is panicking about Meredith and wants to do something now, but Hallie is reluctant as she just wants to spend as much time with her mum as possible. But then they do later decide to try and split them up and reunite their parents. No, Dad, you were not allowed to fall in love. You were not allowed to satisfy your happiness. It's all about me. Me. I have to be happy. I have to have you and Mum back together. What you want is irrelevant. Look, I know it's a kids' movie, you're not supposed to take it that seriously, but when you watch it as an adult, I don't know if I'd show this movie to my kids. You know why? Because the whole message is immoral and wrong, and it raises brats, in my opinion. So your parents split up from their own free will. You don't know the circumstances. You don't know what led up to it. You don't know how painful it was. They've had no contact for 10 years, so it was obviously a pretty bad experience. They had no desire to stay in contact. What do? Just force and manipulate them into getting back together because you're a cute little kid and you deserve life to be exactly how you want it. And you always get your way. Oh, and if your dad gets a new girlfriend who hasn't done anything wrong at this point, by the way, just be a rude, bratty bitch to her, because he's not allowed to love anyone but your mum.
That's a good point. Meredith has literally done nothing wrong yet. Annie just meets her and doesn't like her because, well, she's not her mum. The dude has been single for 11 years, love. I think he's earned some pussy. His dick's probably growing cobwebs at this point.
You're absolutely right. You do need a mother. Which brings me to Meredith.
You separated your kids at birth. This film's got everything backwards. They're trying to paint Meredith as a bitch and Nick as a saint, but as of right now, it's the other way around. But this is when Meredith decides to send Hallie, who's really Annie, to boarding school for yet another generic cliche. Has this movie got anything original in it? And somehow the rich, posh, snobby bitch knows how to ride a horse correctly on her first try. She's been portrayed as a dainty little princess this entire time, and now this? What the hell? He's about to tell her that he wants to marry Meredith, but she rides off and avoids the conversation. And admittedly, this actually is quite emotional. She's heartbroken over her mum. This is really well handled. And this scene. I can't fault it. It's incredible.
Almost as if I were who, Jesse?
Nobody. Forget I mentioned it.
Almost as if I were Annie?
You know about Annie?
I am Annie.
Ow.
Oh.
This scene gives me goosebumps, and Jesse's acting is amazing. The reaction is perfect. The whole scene's fantastic.
Jesse, why are you looking at her like that?
Like what? I'm not looking at her any special way. I'm looking at her like I've looked at her for 11 years. Since the day she came home from the hospital.
The character's so cool, and she even keeps it to herself. She doesn't tell Nick. It's a really cool moment.
I want to know what you think about making Meredith part of the family.
Part of our family?
Yeah.
I think it's an awesome idea.
Yeah?
Inspired.
You do?
Brilliant.
Really? You do?
Totally. I mean, like, it's a dream come true. I've always wanted a big sister.
Oh.
Alright, that was funny. The more I think about it, actually, Jessie really isn't responsible, is she? I mean, she's an adult and is the only one who knows what's going on. And, by the way, she never asks where the hell Hallie is. And she doesn't even bother telling Nick or anyone what's going on. But have some more dated 90s references.
You're young and beautiful and sexy, and hey, the guy's only human. But if you ask me, marriage is supposed to be based on something more than just sex, right?
Because I'm sure my dad's been pounding the shit out of you, really doing it to you.
And then Meredith threatens to make Annie's life misery because we need another cliche in there.
Look, I know this woman's a bitch, and believe me, she's a bitch queen from hell. But I'm gonna say it, so is Annie. All I see when these two interact is a grown bitch and a little bitch. They're both so annoying and unlikable. Surely Annie should have been presented as a little bit more of a likeable, charming, sweet-natured little girl instead of just as much a spoiled, annoying and bratty bitch as the woman she doesn't want her dad to marry. Just a thought, if she really is this good little girl who genuinely wants the best for her father, she at least tried to give this woman the benefit of the doubt, but no. From the very beginning, she's like, bitch, no way you're coming near my daddy. You ain't gonna out-bitch me. Don't go there, girlfriend.
Yes, I'd like to place a collect call to America, please.
I don't think that's how that works. But oh no, her grandfather overhears and she has to explain everything. Now, when their mum discovers that she has the wrong kid, it's delivered a bit more poorly than the other reveal. But it is still quite charming and emotional. At least the granddad got her to talk, unlike Jessie.
I've loved you your whole life.
Which is exactly why I separated you both at birth.
Well, technically, you belong to your dad and Annie belongs to me.
This is an awful arrangement. When did this ever sound like a good idea?
No offense, Mom, but this arrangement really sucks.
You think?
If the man didn't make me so nuts, I'd still be married to him. I mean, we came up with this arrangement so that we'd never have to see each other again.
How? How was this ever going to work? Oh well, Hallie lies and claims that she's spoken to their dad and made arrangements to meet, and he's very excited to see Elizabeth again. Why would her mum not make the call herself? She even says she was going to.
Not to worry, darling. I'll take care of everything.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
So tell someone! Why are all the adults in this movie completely irresponsible douchebags? But man, can you imagine being so rich you could just fly to America on a whim like this? I have to save up for 7 years and take out a loan just to travel to Leeds.
Okay, they'll be here any minute. Now, be nice, Daddy.
Stop calling him that!
He's everything you ever wanted for your little girl, plus millions more.
Then you know I'll be nice.
I love how in movies, all douchebags seem to be related to all douchebags. It's something in their genetics.
Hello, pet. You may call me Aunt Vicky.
Why would she call her stepmom Aunt?
Now that we're here, why don't we go check out the honeymoon suite? I bet it is to die for.
Casual sex jokes in a kid's film, alright. Then Elizabeth shows up completely plastered drunk, and this was actually the first ever Disney film to do this, so kudos for having balls.
Hey, that's why they make do not disturb signs.
For kids! Then he spots his ex-wife he hasn't seen in 11 years. Alright, her drunk reaction is pretty funny.
And then the rich butler meets Jessie and they instantly fall in love. Well, that worked out well.
Daddy's getting married.
Why does she care so much? It's been 11 years! Why are you still hung up on this? You haven't had a cock in 11 years! You open your legs, fucking moths probably come out. Go out and get some dick, love! There's more out there than Dennis fucking Quaid! Have you seen you?
You two knew about this?
What? Oh, no!
No!
No,
Adam,
no.
Absolutely
I
no
had
idea.
no idea. Yes,
Yes.
technically,
Yes,
yes.
I did know
I
something.
had an inkling anyway.
Why are all the adults so irresponsible? They're completely fucking with people's lives and they're acting like it's so normal and casual. Oh, just got someone to break up. Oh, just got someone fired.
It's great to see you, Dad.
It's great to see you too, Squirt. Nice outfit.
Oh, thanks.
Oh yeah, you've just seen your ex-wife for the first time in 11 years and now your daughter has magically changed clothes and you don't put two and two together that both of your twins are there. This dude's a moron.
Have you seen your father?
You talking to me?
What are you, Robert De Niro?
Oh yeah, there's one joke the kids are definitely gonna get. So Elizabeth continues drowning her sorrows before meeting Meredith, who somehow knows who she is and is a big fan of her work. I mean, she does sign her name as Elizabeth James, but surely that's a really common name. Wait, Elizabeth James. E.L. James. Nah.
Now tell me, dear, how many are we expecting from your side of the family? Just a guesstimate.
It has been 11 years! How are you both still so torn up over each other? It's 11 fucking years!
Hello, Liz.
Yeah, no, the correct reaction is, what the fuck are you doing here, love? It's been over a decade!
I can explain why she's here.
Hallie, You know who this is?
Actually, yes. And actually, I'm not Hallie. Actually, I am.
Both of them?
Why are you so shocked? Your ex-wife is here, you dumbass!
You mean I've had Annie with me all this time?
Yeah, this would never happen. The parents would be fuming. You'd be grounded. Like, remember when your parents, when you were a kid, would say you're grounded and I mean it? This would be you're grounded and I bloody well mean it. You're not coming out of that room. I'm going to barricade the door. And you're going to have no entertainment in that room. That's what you get for this shit. Just saying, kids. I know it's Christmas. I know, you want to enjoy this little movie, be happy and, But, sometimes you need someone to burst your bubble, and that's me. I come on this channel to burst people's dreams.
Are you angry?
Oh, honey, of course not. I just can't believe it's you.
I thought I got rid of you for good. Damn it.
You haven't changed a bit.
Don't kiss.
Oh, good, you've met.
Oh, thank God.
Wait, I don't understand. How did you two meet? And Nikki, why are you all wet?
Well, I haven't seen her in 11 years, so what do you expect?
How did you two meet?
Am I missing something here?
Meredith isn't actually completely inhuman. I mean, the way she talks sometimes, you can tell there's some good in her. So why didn't Hallie and Annie at least give her a chance and try to get to know her underneath the superficial side? Nah, Mum and Dad. Fuck, fuck, fuck. That's what we want. Do it now. Fuck, 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 fuck.
So the girls arranged for them to essentially relive their first date. What, and Meredith is okay with this?
But why did they separate the twins? I don't understand. Oh, we're not even getting on anymore. Let's divorce and split them up. I mean, separating siblings is bad enough, but fucking twins? Everyone's a dick in this movie.
Come on, you guys are gonna love it.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, Dad, and if you don't, we'll just keep forcing you into situations until you do. Love you.
Wouldn't it just be so awkward if they went through all of this trouble to try and get them back together and then they just had no chemistry anymore and it completely failed?
I've always thought arranged marriages were immoral, but this is rearranged marriage, done by their kids. This is evil.
Just relax.
Do they even have any say in this? You are literally forcing them to get back together at this point.
They even get the maid and butler working for them to guilt them into it further. This is grand scale disturbing.
They're recreating the night we met.
Thanks for pointing that out. Sorry, pet peeve, but I just really hate when movies feel the need to spell everything out. Just so you know, this is what they're doing. Like, they assume the entire audience is filled with morons. We got it.
It all feels a bit hazy to me now. It ended so fast.
It started so fast.
Well, that part I remember perfectly.
Yes, she's completely forgotten that I cheated on her with her best friends. Ah, the beauty of time.
They don't even acknowledge how the terrible parents who separated the kids at birth. But who cares? Oh, look, they're so cute together.
Well, now that they've met, we can't very well keep them apart.
Well, I could keep them for half the year and then you could keep them for...
Guys,
Nah, that won't work.
they can't go to 2 different schools every year. That's nuts.
I agree.
Well, then I could keep them both for a whole year and you could keep them.
To be fair, what should you do in this situation?
Move! It's your kid!
Yeah.
Like, I can understand one person being committed to their job and be like, no, I really can't move. But then surely the other one could compromise and be like, okay, I'll move to you. This is 2 people both saying no.
At least live in the same state.
It's literally, they're like, well, I can't move. Well, I'm not moving either. Well, I don't want to move. Well, I don't want to move. Well, fuck you then! You both don't give a shit!
How about we live in the same country and work from there?
That's why we came up with the solution that we have.
No! Don't try to justify it. You're terrible parents!
So I'll send Hallie back to you over Christmas.
And Annie'll spend Easter with you.
Still sounds like a terrible idea.
But the girls still aren't satisfied, so they pretend to become each other again, to fuck with them some more. It's just another case of them getting what they want by being bratty. This is not how to behave. These parents exert no authority. I mean, they are already visibly hurt by what they did, but they obviously don't love each other anymore. They've been through hell, and it's still going on. This isn't a family, this is mental.
We go back to Dad's house, pack our stuff, and the 4 of us leave on the camping trip.
The 4 of us?
And when you bring us back, we'll tell you who's Annie and who's Hallie.
These girls are awful! So Nick agrees to a camping trip with his ex-wife. Why isn't Meredith leaving him at this point?
I do actually feel quite sorry for Meredith here. It's not fair to do all this right in front of her. Just tell her to piss off if you don't want to be with her. This whole thing is getting more and more vile by the minute.
And then Elizabeth invites Meredith along too. Now it's even weirder. But look at Nick. He clearly doesn't want her coming either. Why is he even with this woman?
But high five to Liz, she decides to not go. Yes, she completely shat on the girl's plans and I love it.
This whole section just seems out of place and shoehorned in at the end. It feels like the movie should be all over by now, but then this is crammed in to tie up all loose ends. This movie doesn't need to be this long. But Jesus Christ, they put rocks in Meredith's backpack and use a lizard thing to fuck with her. What are they doing?
What, so your plan didn't work because your parents don't like each other anymore, so now you're going to abuse and physically punish Meredith for it? What the fuck is going on here? Sure, she's a bitch, but she's not even the reason you're on this trip with her. Your mother is. I'm sure she wouldn't be happy if she found out you were torturing this poor woman. This is some fucked up shit.
I can't believe people actually do this for fun.
So Meredith takes a sleeping pill, but Nick doesn't, but still somehow doesn't wake up as the girls drag her ass out of the damn tent. And they put her in a fucking lake! Dude, she could drown! These two are serial killers. What the hell is going on?
So they went from torturing Meredith to possibly killing her, all because your parents don't want to get back together. In fact, the very reason your mum isn't on this trip is because she has no desire to get back with your dad. So fuck it, let's just kill Dad's girlfriend for a laugh. Are these kids related to Junior from Problem Child? No, actually, he's nicer. Why do these girls not get in trouble for anything in this movie? The only ones to discipline them are the camp counsellors. These are the worst parents ever. They could chop up Meredith with a fucking axe and their dad would still be like, oh, you. Just up to their old tricks. Oh, look. They put poison in Meredith's drink. Oh, so cute. Oh, look, now they're pushing her down the stairs.
Gotta get another cliche in there as she has an animal on her, but she thinks it's a human. Very good. And then the girls are so shocked when she wakes up. What the hell did they think was gonna happen?
It's me or them. Take your pick.
Yeah.
Well, you better improve your parenting then, mate, because these girls are growing up with no discipline. They're going to end up like bloody Jeffrey Dahmer soon. And you still probably wouldn't punish them. And now suddenly, because this movie needs them to, they love each other again. Throughout the past 11 years, both parents made absolutely no effort whatsoever to know how their daughter was doing, or their ex-partner, and yet they still end up back together. You'd think they'd at least remain friends, or in contact with their kids, or live in the same bloody country.
They do have great chemistry together though, and they do a good job making you forget just how neglectful they are as parents. It's so sweet, and they don't even kiss as they don't want to rush into anything.
But they still don't go back together. They have an emotional goodbye scene, and I'm sorry, I know I'm pessimistic, but this is how the movie should have ended in real life.
But nope, gotta stretch out the runtime and delay the inevitable.
Hey, stranger.
Hey, Mom.
How the fuck did she get back there before them?
Did you know the Concorde gets you here in half the time?
Oh, piss off, what a cop-out. But yeah, why not use the classic fake-out cliche to end it? They're back together, yay! To be fair, she does try to resist getting back together, but Quaid is so smooth and charming, it kind of works.
And I suppose you just expect me to go weak at the knees and fall into your arms and cry hysterically and say we'll just figure this whole thing out, a bicontinental relationship with our daughters being raised here and there, and you and I just picking up where we left off and growing old together and come on, Nick, what do you expect?
God damn it, it is quite sweet.
It's not sweet.
If you ignore the abuse.
No, you can't ignore the abuse.
Oh, but they're so cute with their little freckles.
No.
They're sweet, and then they're such wonderful parents.
They're terrible parents.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
terrible parents.
This movie sucks! Alright, the acting is great all across the board, and Lindsay and Kelsey deserve all recognition. It does have some really sweet and touching moments, but it's ruined by awful people and their awful actions. It's just a mess at points. Kids will love it, but the underlying messages it delivers are just warped. It's a bit long, but not really boring, though it is really predictable. So if you're looking for mindless fun, I'd say it's worth a watch at least, but don't expect anything fantastic.
Look, I can see the good intentions behind this film, and I know it was a remake, so you can't entirely blame them for the story. But, I don't know, for me it just rubbed me the wrong way. Annie and Hallie were far too bratty for me, and the script was just too convenient at every turn. I struggled to like anyone in the film, and I didn't enjoy how easily everything worked out. It was almost like, feel in this moment, and then next moment don't feel this, next moment feel the opposite. I just think Lindsay Lohan has done a lot better. Not often, but she's done better. I think it would have been better if Kelsey starred in it.
Kelsey is not real!